smile. No, I know that I'm preaching to the choir, but a piece of my soul will every time play my guitar. You can't help the calls you get. Yeah, when life is dealing from the bottom of the dead. From the bottom of the dead. I'm not saying I had it any worse than you. It sure is the grass is green, the whole world is blue. No, I'm just another lost soul in a beautiful world where the people so damn cold. You can the calls you get. All you can do is just your best. Little boy, gonna cry, but I can't say goodbye. Just keep on dancing, lonely when I dream. Yeah, dream. Yeah, I want a bad girl. Honey, I'm not ashamed. March on, march on, march on. Hey, march on. You got the soldier on.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of The Buzz with yours truly, Momma T. Tonight, we're going to be visiting with my good friend, Cactus St here, and we'll get to the interview right after a word about Grand Forks Best Source. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting-edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on-location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Momma T sent you.
March on, march on, march on. Hey, march on. You got the soldier on.
Yeah, tell them Momma T sent you. The end of that one cut off a little bit. Hey, Cactus, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, Tanya?
I can hardly hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, just like the commercial.
Yeah. Sorry. How's it going? I'm doing good. How you doing?
Awesome. I just got a new job. I start tomorrow. I can work from home. I'm going to do my podcasts, of course, but I'm going to be a life insurance producer.
Nice,
I'm gonna be,
nice.
yeah, gonna make
I got I
money.
got I got the hookup on my life insurance now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
what you been doing with yourself since we last saw you?
Just kind of been moving around, working. You know, still playing music. I'm out here in LA now. I just moved from Santa Fe. Still working in the cannabis industry. Trying to find work right now. Things are kind of rough, but yeah, it's taking it day by day, I guess. But yeah, it's nobody told me LA would be this hard as far as just even finding work, let alone
Wow.
like anything else. But yeah, it's been a journey. It's been fun. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I really wish you had your guitar with you. Oh, that would be a blast. So, how did you get into music in the first place?
I got into music. My dad, when I was a little kid, used to take me to go watch my uncle play, who was a blues harmonica player, and I grew up in Sioux City, Iowa, so I used to play around there at this place called the Attic Bar in South Sioux a lot. But I'm also like enrolled in the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska, and our res is only probably maybe like 25 to 30 miles, maybe somewhere around there outside of Sioux City. So it's kind of like where I grew up. But yeah, that's where I got my start, anyways. At least hearing music and being around it and all that. I was just like a little kid, just going to watch my uncle. My dad would always make me call like the owner of the bar, Brent, and be like, "Hey, Brent, I'm going with my dad. Can I go watch? Can I go watch some music tonight?" And he'd be like, "As long as you're not drinking and you're with your dad." And that's how I grew up and got introduced to music.
And what kind of music did you like listening to, just like on your own? Did you have like a collection?
Yeah, like a lot of blues. I've always been just like ever since I was a little kid. I've always been about blues because it's what I was always around. So I was always the weird kid in class that never wanted to tell anybody else in school that I was out late last night with my dad listening to my uncle play, and I listened to BB King and all this other stuff when most of the other kids are sitting there listening to like what's on the radio and stuff. So I just always felt a little out of place sometimes in school with all of that stuff. But yeah, that answers the question.
I forgot BB King right here.
Yeah, yeah, that was actually my first show I ever went to with my dad. He took me to see BB King in
What was that like? How old were you?
I don't even know. I was like in elementary school still. It was in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Um, yeah, I went to go see him live. I always had this thing of taking a recorder with me everywhere I went, and so I just recorded like all these shows and stuff on like a cassette tape when I would go to the shows and just like listen to it over and over again.
What all instruments do you play? Did you get lessons or did you teach
Um,
yourself?
I mean, it's funny because like I took lessons a couple times when I was a kid, but like for the most part, I'm self-taught. Um, but I took lessons from actually. So I'm from Sioux City, and there's like this. He's kind of a big deal to everybody in Sioux City, and his name's Tommy Bolin. But he used to play in Deep Purple and James Gang and all of that. His brother just passed recently, RP. But yeah, he. I used to take lessons at. It's called Floods Music in Sioux City, from a guy named John Bartle, and he used to actually play in a band with Tommy Bolin when he was a kid in a band called Patch of Blue. But that's where I first learned the pentatonic scale was from John Bartle in Floods music. So and Floods
But
is like,
what
sorry,
is that? I keep hearing that phrase. What is
oh,
that?
what's that?
The pentatonic scale?
Oh, the pentatonic. Yeah, so it's basically just kind of like the beginning of learning how to like solo on the guitar. It's just the basics of learning, just where to place your fingers. It's like kind of one of the first scales you use when you learn how to play. But yeah, I learned just four notes inside of the scale, and I thought it was cool or something, and I just kept wanting to do it. So that's where it all started for me.
Is it just the guitar or do you have other instruments to play?
I mess around with other stuff, but again, I'm not taught by anybody. I've taken lessons here and there and different things, but I dabble around with other stuff. But it's just mainly to learn more about my main instrument, the guitar. I don't really try to claim I know how to do anything else.
Well, in that picture that we used for the promo, looked like you had a foot pedal or something.
Yeah, it's a one man band thing. I kind of picked that up when I was down south, like Mississippi and all that. I seen guys doing that down there, but it's basically for
Yes,
me.
that's what I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, it's basically a way of having a drummer without having a drummer. It's my way of faking, a drummer playing with me, I guess.
So it's almost like having, you know.
Yeah, it's the backup plan when the band doesn't show up. So, you know.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So you and Bobby, you hit it off right away because you knew some people, you had some people that you knew in common.
Yeah, it was crazy. I actually went over to you guys' place that day, and I was just like walking around, uh, Colleen and it's been
And
so
Bob,
long. And Bob, yeah. Colleen and Bob took me over to you guys' spot, and I was just like walking around, checking out all of the pictures and everything, and I started seeing people I knew, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, so I called up. There's one guy in particular, Watermelon Slim. So I was just like, I seen his picture on the wall, and I called him up, and I put him on the phone with Bobby, and Bobby's like, what the hell? Like, how do you know? How do you know Slim? Like, it's just like, so yeah, it's just weird. It's a small but big world.
so how do you know Slim? Tell me about your time in Clarksdale.
I kind of just started going down there on and off for a long time. That bar I was telling you about in Sioux City when I was a kid, I would go over there, and one of the acts that would always come through was Bernard Allison, And one time I got to hang out with him after the show, and we were just talking, and I asked him a question. He probably doesn't remember, but I asked him. I was like, if you were my age and you could go anywhere in the country, where would you go if you wanted to learn how to play music? And he told me down south. So that's kind of what the motivation for me of going down there was. But like I said, I was always into blues, and I just kind of wanted to know like where it started and like where it came from. So that's what made me go to Clarksdale, and then eventually I went to Reds, and it's like one of the cooler spots I like in that town. And
Definitely.
and Slim was there that night. And yeah, I think at that time I was smoking cigarettes. Mom and family, if you're watching, yeah, I used to smoke cigarettes, but I stopped. But I went outside to go smoke a cigarette, or I tried to get a cigarette. And Slim always had these. He always had these this pouch of tobacco that he always carried with him everywhere, and he'd like roll his own. So like I knew he always had cigarettes. So he's like basically the cigarette guy that I always hit up all the time. But that's how I know Slim. That's how I first met him, anyways. So yeah.
Who else did you play with? And did you actually get to play with them? And who else did you
Um,
meet down there?
yeah, I played with him. I played with Deke. Really, who the person who gave me my like first start, and I used to play drums for him in Reds, was this guy named Robert Bilbo Walker. And yeah, he was one of my favorites. He's gone now, but yeah, and I wasn't even a drummer at all, but he had his. I guess the drummer didn't show up to the gig, and he had his wife playing drums for him, and then the bass player was asking me because he was this kind of like had it up to here with trying to play bass with his wife on drums. He's like, if you think you can play drums better, please, by all means, get up there and like play drums with me. So I sat there, and I had a couple more drinks, and I kind of got some liquid courage, and I was just like, I think I could play drums better than that. And I went up there, and ever since then, like Bilbo just kept having me play drums for him, even though I wasn't even a drummer. But yeah, Bilbo is one of my favorites. A lot of guys, I just seen a lot of guys down there because I lived down there on and off for probably like 5 or 6 years. So, and I'm pretty sure I talked to Bobby about this too. I was like, I had to have run across you at least one point in time when I was there, like, and it was probably in a juke joint or something. But yeah, we just know too many people not to have ever crossed paths down there, so it's just kind of
Right?
weird. Yeah.
And then where's that breakfast place?
You talk about Bluesberry.
Yes, Bluesberry.
Yeah, yeah,
There's always music.
Art and Carol Cavaro. Yeah.
And there's that, and the lady that waitresses there actually also works out. Um, what's up? It's like a plantation or something. It's like the giant
Are you
building that's like,
Hobson?
Hobson, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She also works out there at the door. So every time we'd go down there, we would go to the Bluesberry, and I was like, we like the first time, our first trip down there, like,
Yeah.
and this, he's like, I got to bring you over here. We got to go over here. We got to go here. We got to go there. And kept seeing the same lady everywhere we went. How many
Yeah.
jobs you got, woman?
Yeah, that happens a lot there.
Oh, we had a good time down there. I
Yeah.
mean, there's there's I'm like really bad with the names of the places. We stayed in the cheap motel, just like right on the edge of town there.
Yeah, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Right there by Hobson and all of that.
No, on the other side.
Oh, on the other side. Yeah, I'm not too familiar. I was my experiences there weren't as fortunate all the time. So
No, we all felt welcome everywhere we went.
yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many clubs though that have cover charges. It's just crazy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, I used to like I said, unfortunate events. I was there, kind of. I had a period in my time of existence where I wasn't most financially stable, and I figured I was living the life of Robert Johnson at the time.
right?
But I was always that guy that was just always out front of the clubs around there, and I never had enough money for like the door to get in, so like I was just always listening to the music outside, and eventually they got sick of me and they're like, just come in, like just don't even like, so yeah.
So where else have you played?
I mean, that's a hard question because I've played all over the place, but if you're talking about venues, um, less than places I've played like on the sidewalk, because I've kind of been a wanderer and going all over the country, all over the place, and I've played on the sidewalk everywhere pretty much. But uh, stages not so much, but I'm working on that right now. So, but yeah, a lot of time in the South. I really like Mississippi and like Louisiana and that area down there because of blues and all that. Memphis, I was over in Florida for a while. I like California. I was in Northern California a lot, but I'm kind of new to down south now, so I'm checking that out. I was in Seattle for a while. Um, just kind of all over the place. Not so much the East Coast though.
So you were talking about the res. Can you tell me a little bit about your heritage and how it affected who you became, like musically?
Yeah, so that was always the weird part about me in Mississippi, being I'm Native American and everything, but when I was down there, I just always felt kind of weird just knowing that I'm like actually from you know what's supposed to be America, and down there it's just they really didn't have a place for me when I went to Clarksdale. I felt like where it's just like, who are you? What are you doing here? Like you look like an alien. Like no, it's just like, and I would hear things sometimes people trying to tell me like you don't know the blues, like you don't have the blues, and the fact that all of this stuff the way I feel, I'm like, how is that not the blues? But yeah, I'm enrolled in the Winnebago tribe in Nebraska. It's my dad's tribe. Uh, they're originally from Wisconsin, so right next door to where I met you guys, Minnesota. Um, that's where my dad's people are originally from, but real estate issues, we end up in Nebraska. My mom's tribe's still there in Minnesota, and Red Lake is my mom's side, but I'm enrolled in my dad's, and so part of my life I was up in Wisconsin, part of my life I was down there on the res in Nebraska. And then when I met you guys, that was me kind of trying to learn more about my mom's side, because I never really grew up around Red Lake or Minnesota or anything, but I was born in Minneapolis, so that was kind of me learning more about that side when I met you guys when I was living there. But yeah, that's
And
pretty
we
much.
loved having you. Bobby was he was phenomenal,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you got a chance to play with him and got a chance to meet him.
No, yeah,
That
Bobby was good shit. Bobby was really cool. I'll always remember a lot of stuff about Bobby. There's things I learned a lot actually in a short amount of time. I'm kind of a person, I don't say a lot of times, but I'm really observant, and I learned a lot from just kind of being around and observing Bobby, especially up there.
Oh, we have a comment. Paul Testa Jr. We call him Sweet Polly T. He was a band member of Bobby's. Says loved Clarksdale. Bobby and I are on music store walls. We played on the sidewalk in front of the music store at the Clarksdale Fest. Then we played at the pizza joint. It was a fun trip. It's always a fun trip to Clarksdale.
Yeah.
We do have to cut to commercial. We're going to hear, first we're going to hear about Global Cleaning and Soul Kitchen in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And then we are going to give everybody a special treat and play them a little clip of you and Bobby on Bob and Colleen's stage in Cass Lake over at Lockjammers. Stay tuned.
Time is a precious commodity, and when it comes to dedicating time for the best professional cleaning, whether it be for your home or business, look no further than Global Cleaning Services. They will make your home or business perfectly pristine, whether it comes down to routine cleaning, prepping for a move, post-construction cleanup, or post-event tidying up. Global Cleaning Services offers weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly scheduled services. Contact them today for a free quote at 612-270-6614 or by email globalcleaningservices51@gmail.com. For whatever your commercial or residential cleaning needs, Global Cleaning Services will have you covered.
Come and get a taste of Korea at Grand Forks' newest dining sensation, Soul Kitchen in the Grand Cities Mall. Dine in or take out handcrafted dishes featuring astonishing and unique flavors with just the right levels of spiciness to suit all tastes. At Soul Kitchen, each meal is custom made to your order by superb soul-trained chefs. Open for dinner Tuesday through Friday from 4:30 to 8, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sundays 11 to 6, and closed Mondays. Discover what's been missing from your dining adventures with consistent 5-star reviews from satisfied customers. Soul Kitchen, right across from Rumors Sports Bar and Grill in the Grand Cities Mall. Stop in and discover the best-kept dining secret in Grand Forks.
March on, march on, march on. Hey, march on. We got the so we will play around with Jack and Jim.
Well, that was fun. It was a blast from the past. Tell me about that clip. Where were you?
I was actually the one recording that. That was Wayne McFarlane and Bobby, and it's funny because that red guitar that he's playing, that I was like, here, Bobby, like he's like, I don't got my guitar, just play mine, man. I'll go. Like, and I recorded it, but that guitar is actually Wayne's guitar, and I still have it. He's been like asking me about that guitar forever, so it's just funny, kind of seeing Bobby like play that guitar. But yeah, I was off to the side of the stage over there, and I was just kind of like letting them do their thing and just kind of just watching, you know.
See, I thought you had sent me a clip of you, but now that I was, because on my phone it was so small, I couldn't really see it, and I was like, wait.
No. You're good, you're good. But no, that was a really good memory, though. That was a really fun time, actually. I brought my, I have a 4-track reel-to-reel that I brought to that gig, and I actually got all that whole show, Bobby, and all of that, like, recorded on the reel-to-reel, too, so it sounds really
Shut
good.
up, really?
Yeah. So yeah, that
Paul
was.
Testa wants to know who all was on that stage.
That was. I can't remember his name. You know Kenneth? So Kenneth was playing bass. I can't remember the name of Wayne's. It's all Wayne's band. He brought his band.
Oh, okay.
But it was Mario Dawson, I think, was there on the drums. And then I can't remember who the saxophone player is. He always plays with Wayne all the time, and that's Wayne McFarlane and Bobby. But yeah, that was pretty much it.
I do have to give a shout out. Thank you very much to the moving crew that hurried up and got everything done downstairs real quick at the beginning of the show. You might have heard some background noise, but they got done in a very timely and quiet fashion. And thank you for moving my furniture in here finally. They are watching the show right now. Well, at least one of them is. Hi, Ricky.
Okay.
So, tell me about your first gig and how you got it. Where was that?
To be completely honest, I don't even remember that one. I really don't remember. I think my first gig was probably somewhere around Clarksdale. I was playing with T-Model Ford's grandson, Stud, and I'm pretty sure Stud got us a gig. Maybe it was at Reds, I think, for like my first gig, official gig, where I was like getting paid and all of that. I think it was at Reds, and I think it was with Stud, actually, thinking about it. So yeah.
How long ago was that?
That had to have been a long time ago. I have no idea. Maybe like 2016 or 15, something like that. You know.
Do you write your own music?
So I'm sometimes yes, and a lot of times I kind of just I'll play stuff if it's not mine. I always try to make it my own. I don't ever play anything or try to play anything the way that it was played originally. But I'm working more and more on original songwriting, you know, because I just feel like there's a point as a musician where you just kind of get tired of playing other people's music, where you just kind of like want to write your own, you know.
And you're finally to that point now.
Yeah.
Have you written anything? You got anything that you're proud of yet?
I have lots and lots of stuff on a broken laptop that doesn't work anymore. Kind of I was working on, but I have the hard drive, but I just need to get the laptop fixed. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff I've been kind of working on for years. A lot of it's more music than lyrics, but I kind of have a notebook of all of the years I was wandering around and stuff too, of just stuff I was jotting down that I could probably throw to music, you know. I'm just kind of waiting on, you know, I don't know what I'm waiting on, but I'm waiting on something, I guess.
Paul just asked a question. What is Bobby's last CD that was #1? That would be Dealing from the Bottom of the Deck. It's been #1 in Minnesota. I'm going to check again in the morning, but I've been keeping track of this last CD, and it's still on the charts. So, you have to have a favorite gig somewhere.
Favorite gig somewhere. I mean, probably my friend, the guy, basically that club I was always going to, my dad would take me to when I was a kid to watch my uncle. That place closed down, but that the owner of the place was his name's Brett Stockton, and from Sioux City, my hometown, and he's kind of had a bunch of different bars under different names around the area throughout the years. But right now, he's got a place called Vanguard Arts. I'd probably say that's probably my favorite place, just out of nostalgia, because of like me being a kid and going to his place all the time. That there's just something about that because I was a kid and just it's just a lot of memories for me. So I'd probably say that place is probably one of my favorite places to play.
Do you have any good road stories? I mean, you travel quite a bit.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I got road stories. Is there anything in particular? Maybe like there's lots of road stories, but
What's your favorite story? Okay, tell me about a time that maybe you got scared or worried.
scared or worried? Well, okay. So, me and Stud, he's Team Model Ford's grandson. We started playing music together, and we were in Clarksdale, and he was living in Greenville at the time, and I was staying in Clarksdale, and I basically kind of, the town's really small there in Clarksdale, and so after a while, it's just like I got the jitters to just kind of leave town. I'm just like, I need to get out of here. And so I went down. I was like, I'm gonna go to New Orleans. I was like telling Stud this, and Stud was at his mom's in Greenville, and he was like telling me, he's just like, yeah, I'll go with you. And he was never out doing anything like that. I never so I didn't know New Orleans. We went to New Orleans, and basically we were living day to day, like busking in the French Quarter, just like every single day was like a mission where we'd have to make so much money to go back to like the hostel we were staying at the time to make enough money for a place to stay that night and for food, literally. And it was like that for like I don't know how long, where we just would do the same thing like that every day. We'd go down to the quarter and play music enough to make rent, and then do the same thing over and over and over again. And you never knew what you were gonna get some of those nights, just kind of being on the sidewalk like that, just playing, because it's New Orleans, and you never knew who was walking by. So like, sometimes there was just random jam sessions and stuff like that with people who were in the clubs that were just walking by that were like, just randomly on some shitty, just little tiny amp and drum. Like I think Stud was just playing with a snare at that time, so it was just like a little baby amp and a snare.
What are they called? A pig? No.
Not a pig nose. A pig nose too small. I think I had, it was like a little Fender. I can't remember what it was called. It was a little Fender amp though, but not too big though. It's a little amp.
One of those little tiny, looks like a little speaker.
Yeah. One of those.
So have you been mostly solo, or have you been part of any bands?
Yeah, I've been kind of part of like a couple bands, but more lately, it's just kind of, I'm sure a lot of you can relate out there with, growing in age and whatnot. It's kind of hard for people's schedules to align and whatnot. So anymore, I try not to like juggle playing with other people for right now. I'm kind of more focused on like writing and making my own music kind of relevant to my life. So that brings me to being out here in LA where I'm at right now, because I was in Santa Fe and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to go to LA because I work in the cannabis industry too. So I've been doing that for a while, and not only just music, but also the legal cannabis market. Just kind of, this has always been like on the bucket list for me as far as like places I wanted to go. So I just felt like it was time. So I'm here now, and if you are out there and know anybody in LA or know places to play in LA, let me know. Hit me up. I'm just saying. Yeah.
So tell me about this cannabis stuff you're doing.
So yeah, I'm here now. I'm here right now. I'm just kind of trying to find any kind of work in the industry, because I started, I would say basically where I'm from, it wasn't always legal, and it was around high school time, and I basically got charged with possession. I don't know if any of you guys know what ditchweed is, but it's just kind of rural weed that has no THC in it. And this was pre 2018, because if it happened after that, it would have been legal. but Obama legalized, anything that's below 0.3% THC to be legal. But at that time, it wasn't. And it was a wet plant in this car with 3 kids. It was stupid in high school, and the cop charged everybody in the car with possession. I think it was like a pound of cannabis, and it was ditchweed that was under 0.3, and that basically fueled my anger, and and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make this my career now. So I moved to a legal state, and I just decided that's what I was gonna do. So yeah. If I get a job here in California in the industry, this will be the 5th legal state I've worked in now, and I've worked all aspects of the industry, from production to trimming to dispensary work to management to writing policy and procedure for Red Lake.
Wow.
I did a bunch of different stuff in the industry, so it's one of my passions along with music. I feel like they go hand in hand together. So coming to LA and doing all this only makes sense to me for those reasons.
So yeah, if you were ever gonna collaborate with any artist and like be on a record together with somebody or write music together, who would you want to be with?
Well, he's really old now, but I would really want to do something with this guy named R. Stevie Moore. He's probably one of my favorite musicians of all time, and he's they call him the founder of indie music. DIY. So basically, he never signed to a label, and he kind of made all of his own recordings at home, like on reel-to-reels and stuff like that. Back in the day, and before the internet even existed, he had like a fan mailing club where he would mail out his like personalized reels that he would make for just one person at a time if you were on his mailing list, and he would mail you like songs that only you got. And this was probably like back in like the 70s or something like that, and so like those reels are worth probably a lot of money now, if people still held on to them. But he's still playing music from what I heard. But yeah, he's one of my favorites. He's just kind of all over the place. I think his stepdad was like a really big like bass player, like session musician out of like Nashville. I think he used to like play with Elvis and stuff like that a long time ago.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. What do you
What
think the
about?
biggest challenge? Huh?
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, what do you think the biggest challenge of staying in the industry for so long is?
I mean, I don't think there's any really big challenge if you really like. I just feel like if you love what you do, it's you know what I mean. Regardless of any challenges, you're gonna do it because you just love to do it. Like I don't know if I'm crazy or stupid or whatever you call me, but I mean, I'm out here broke right now in LA, just trying to look for a job because I want to come out here and play music. Like I could be doing a lot of other things that are probably more productive with my time, but because I love music so much, here I am.
And that's what it's all about. It's I think it's hard. One of the reasons I do this show, and I keep it clean. I keep we don't cuss and swear, or smoke cigarettes, or drink alcohol. That's the Renegade Radio Show. That's the Monday show. But it's because it goes over so many different platforms, and I want to keep that clean rating so that we can get kids into the music industry and get these kids playing music and listening to music and creating music. And that's why I ask a lot of the questions I do. And one of the questions I normally ask is, what do you think we need to do to get kids into the music industry?
To get
Advice would you
kids.
give them?
I mean, I don't know. I kind of just am a firm believer in if it's there and you want to pursue it, then yeah, anything by all means to encourage the kid to play. But I don't know. I just kind of, from personal experience, I would never like want to push anybody into anything. But as far as if that's there, then yes, to help them out for sure in any way possible. Because I was a kid, like I said, going to all those places with my dad and everything, and it was older people who kind of like molded me into wanting to become who I am, that gave me a chance, that were around things that could have influenced me in whatever way, but them taking the time out as me being a little kid, you know, to kind of like push me in the right direction, you know. Um, yeah, I totally agree with everything. I don't know if I answered the question or not, but
You answered it well enough. We got to do some, try to get more funding, maybe. You know,
oh,
um,
for sure, for sure.
we do have to cut to commercial. We're going to hear about the Santa Claus girls, and we're going to shamelessly plug the other show I'm on, Renegade Radio. Stay tuned.
You know, we all know someone, and now more than ever, there are families that need help this holiday season. So the Santa Claus girls are asking for your help putting smiles on the faces of over 1,600 kids and low-income families in Grand Forks, East Grand Forks, and now serving the Grand Forks Air Force Base. The Santa Claus girls are celebrating 108 years of service, and every boy and girl will receive toys, food, books, clothes, and socks to keep them happy and warm this winter. They have a goal of reaching $60,000, but for only $35, you can make this Christmas merry for a child and their family. Go to SantaClausGirls.com to donate, and thank you.
You don't get this stuff from Howard Stern Show. You don't get this stuff from anything but Renegade Radio.
And we're back. Oh, I've got another fan watching. So I've got a couple comments from Paul Testa Jr., Sweet Polly T, or Uncle Polly. Unless you need the money, play to have fun, play the music you love. And he says, where is he living? In LA with no money. Not the cheapest place to live.
Yeah. I'm a man who likes to defy the odds, I guess. I go everywhere. I don't know. I guess I believe in just music so much that I've kind of learned through my experiences to just not really worry so much, that everything always kind of falls into place. You know, it's the blues. What do you expect? You know.
Oh, I forgot. So, Renegade Radio. Did you see that? Commercial? That's the other show I was talking about. Tomorrow, I start my new job tomorrow, so I'm going to miss one of the interviews that I was really looking forward to doing. At noon, Frankie and the boys will be interviewing Kenny Lee Lewis from the Steve Miller Band. So I'm going to miss that interview. But tomorrow night is the season 3 finale. Comedian Joey Gaynor, wrestling expert, and DJ Kenny Casanova, and making his second appearance will be Justin Race. So there's another shameless plug for my other show. So what else do you do besides the cannabis thing, besides the music? What else? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
I have a dog. I really like, my favorite pastime is just kind of going to the dog park a lot. You know, there's a lot of cool dog parks across the country. You'd be surprised, actually.
You can meet a lot of cool people and a lot of cool dogs at the dog park, I imagine.
No, yeah,
I was thinking about getting the dog.
They actually have some really nice ones around here in LA too. Like, you'd be surprised. pretty nice actually. Like some of the nicer dog parks I've been
We're gonna jump back to we were talking about the kids and everything. So who was your biggest supporter when it comes to your music career?
to. I'd probably say my dad. You know, he was the one who gave me my first guitar pretty much when I was a kid. I was out and yeah, he would just always kind of push me into it. And I would go to him to these places to watch all these musicians. I just remember him always saying, "Watch their hands, watch what they're doing with their fingers." Like, and he'd always like have me go up front. And yeah, a couple times I got to sit in as like a little kid with like people that were like pretty big acts and stuff like that. Just being a little kid and being up front because my dad was just like, "Go up there and watch their hands," you know. So I you know, it was just always cool as far as him just being my support and everything like that with everything I did. He was always at my shows whenever I was around. But yeah, I would probably say it was my dad.
What kind of music do you listen to now? What's on your playlist?
I mean, I kind of listen to a lot of different stuff. More kind of lately, I've been into like Trinidad kind of like tribal music, and I kind of into like this Japanese artist Shintaro Sakamoto is like really like one of my favorites probably. I listen to a lot lately. I kind of been listening to the Moody Blues a lot lately too.
Moody Blues?
Yeah.
Knights in White Satin?
Yeah. I mean, A Question of Time, I think, is like, the one with the guy with the hand and all of that, like on the album. That's probably like one of my favorites. But Melancholy Man, that's like been my favorite lately. But yeah.
Well, see, you see, it seems like blues would be kind of hard for you just because you just seem like such a happy person, and it's hard to get people that. I mean, you had to have had some experiences in your life that get you into that blues zone.
The people that I've kind of looked up to and have like crossed paths with along the way, kind of, you'd be surprised, some of like the people who kind of had more blues, and everybody associates blues with sad, but really, blues to me is about life, and life ain't always sad, but life ain't always happy, and it's an earthly thing, I feel like. So you basically you can have the blues and still be happy, because I heard this thing one time where they were saying the blues is kind of like a vaccine, when you have the flu, what do they give you? The flu, right? And it's to keep the flu away, so when you have the blues, you play the blues to keep the blues away. So I might be happy because I'm keeping them away too. You never know.
That's an awesome answer. I love that. Because a lot of people, they hear you play the blues and they're like, I'm not into the blues. It's too sad. It's not always sad. And
No,
like,
definitely
have you seen the movie Rumble?
Rumble. No, I don't think I have seen that.
Oh, okay. Well, this is your homework after the show. You
Okay.
find this movie. Watch the movie Rumble.
All
It's
right.
like how I think it was natives that started the whole blues and how everything got
okay.
together.
I think
How
I
it
know
all
which one you're
started.
talking about.
Bobby
Yeah,
was
yeah.
always talking about that movie to
Yeah.
everybody. He's like, it's a really good movie.
No, yeah, that kind of is, yeah. I remember meeting you and Bobby for the first time over there at Colleen and all this place. Hey, Colleen, if you're watching this, but yeah, I remember meeting you guys over there and talking to Bobby, and Colleen was telling Bobby about me, because he didn't know anything about me or anything, and she was just like, yeah, he's native too, and I just remember Bobby saying, he's just like, yeah, he's like, I hear good things about you, man, and I really like that you're native and you're playing blues, because I really support you, kind of like what you're talking about with like people supporting each other. And Bobby was always saying, he's just like, there's not too many of us, that are native that are doing this, so he's just like, I'm supporting you, man, I got your back and everything, so I always thought that was really cool about Bobby, because
He was very supportive. He always wanted to give. He
yeah.
always wanted to give everybody a chance. He, like during COVID, when everything was closed, he got. He talked to the state and was able to keep the doors open and gave all kinds of musicians jobs during COVID. because there was no place else to play.
No, yeah, I I swear I know, and that was the connection that me and Bobby always had that I thought was kind of cool that we both kind of knew about each other. Is that we both knew we were native and we are both like around there in Minnesota, but like we both knew about Mississippi too. And I just feel like the whole Mississippi thing kind of just like you got to be on your grind down there. You got to kind of like hustle a little bit harder than other places just because it's so desolate out there, you know. And I always kind of admired that about Bobby. Is I was like, man, this guy is kind of out here in McIntosh. I've been out there, and it's kind of got these Clarksdale vibes, and he's just over here hustling, doing all this shit, or excuse me, stuff that he you know, he's. I just always respected that. I just always knew Bobby was like hustling all these things. He's doing the radio show and all this stuff. I was like, man, that's pretty cool, man. You're doing that out here in Minnesota, you know. I've never seen anything like that really up there, you know. And I always thought that was really cool.
Yeah, he was definitely one of a kind. He knew how to hustle. So what do you think people would be surprised to know about you?
I think people would be surprised to know that I'm somewhat of a decent cook. Yeah, I've had a lot of cooking jobs, and that's kind of like one of my other hobbies, I guess you could say, outside of music and all this other stuff is, you know, I like cooking a lot too. I've had a lot of cooking jobs. When I was up there in Cass Lake, you know, I was cooking over at Log Jammers. I was cooking at what's that gas station down the street from them again?
Cenex?
Not.
Or the other direction? Is it right off of 2?
It's literally right down the street from them. The first gas station on that corner right there, where you're turning from the main road. But
Yeah.
Orton's.
Was it?
Yeah.
Cenex. Why did I think it was a Cenex there?
Yeah, Orton's. So I was working at Orton's, I was working at Log Jammers, and I was working at the casino doing like prime rib and stuff like that over there. So I can cook too. So I like cooking a lot, and I just came from New Mexico, so I'm kind of added a lot of new stuff to the stuff I can cook being down there. So kind of like I just like eating, I guess.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
I'd probably say my tribe's food. You know, they make like this. It's like a corn soup. It's like a corn from my tribe, and you just kind of like put beef in there and everything like that. With some fry bread. That's like kind of reminds me of my childhood. That's like probably one of my favorite meals.
I just learned how to make. Bobby taught me how to make fry bread, like his grandma's original recipe. And I didn't have any bread when I moved into this apartment. Oh yeah, I had flour, I had baking soda, I had everything that he had. I had all the ingredients. I was like, yep, making fry bread.
Have you ever been down south? Have you ever tried the fry bread down south? No?
I don't think so.
There's like different styles of fry bread even. So it's just like, you know, in New Mexico, the fry bread's kind of like, it reminds me of like fat tortillas almost, you know? It's just like, they're like really thick looking kind of tortillas almost. But like the fry bread that I was taught to make from like my family and everything, it's really like, almost looks like donuts to like the people down there. They kind of make fun of it. Like, what are you eating, donuts up there or something? Like, you know.
Well, no, you have to squish you gotta squish the hole in the middle. Otherwise it goes like this and pops grease in your face.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you've got some things you need to plug.
Yeah, so basically I have a Facebook page. It's Cactus Cactus St. Cyr, my last name. ST period space CYR. Find me on Facebook. I have a link on there. I just moved out here. I don't know if a lot of anybody who's watching this knows me or not, but I kind of go from place to place. But this time, I'm doing things more responsibly, I guess you could say, and I'm looking for work right now. I just moved out here to LA. I work in the cannabis industry, like I said, and I play music. So if anybody has any leads or connections to anything that might help me with my journey out here in LA, please let me know in the comments or whatever. Just let me figure something out. And I unfortunately I've resorted to having a GoFundMe, and you can find that on my Facebook page. Um, like I said, anything will help. And I'm not just asking for handouts. I plan on giving you some music in return if you're feeling gracious enough to help me in my quest here. But yeah, and if you guys just want to follow the music too in general, just find me, like I said, on my Facebook. You know, that's all I have right now. I literally just made an Instagram today, so I've been off of like social media. I don't know too much about it, but I'm trying because I have to now that I'm here and I'm finding out more people use those things.
Yeah, I just tagged you in the comments so that they can find you and find your page.
Yeah, I appreciate
Or a
that.
cooking job too, right? Cooking jobs too?
Cooking jobs, literally anything. I can park cars, like I park cars like a professional. Like I can park Ferraris, I can park Lamborghinis, no joke. And I've done it. I'm no joke. I can do all kinds of things. I was a janitor one time even, so yeah, I'll do anything. You'd be surprised. It's pretty crazy out here. Like the job market. I've applied so many places, Tanya. It's not even funny.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm only here on one side of the city right now, so I can still have to like venture out. It's pretty big here compared to back where I was, so it's just kind of me getting used to everything still, I guess. But yeah, right now I'm over here kind of. I think somebody's question asked me about that earlier, where I was at in LA.
mm-hmm.
But I'm over here. I'm literally like right next to the airport, and I don't know if you guys have been hearing the planes take off this whole time. I apologize, but literally I'm right here on the beach. The airport's like right over here. So yeah, you'd be surprised how loud it gets over here.
It looks beautiful. I mean, I could hear a little bit of the planes, but you know what? So what?
Right?
You look like you're having a good time out there.
I mean, I try to, but yeah, I'm also trying to be aware of reality sometimes too, and you know, there's a good
All
balance
he
to everything.
says, McDonald's is always hiring.
I don't know if you know about the McDonald's around here. Maybe where you're at, but I just found out there's actually there's a crisis right now. I was like researching it the other day. There's a crisis for jobs for people hiring here in LA right now, and I didn't even know this. So it's just like
Oh no!
it's not just me. I guess it's the whole city. I guess, but yeah. But it's been fun though. I got to check out the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You know, check that out. I checked out a couple other places. Um, Malibu is really cool. I don't know if you've ever been to Malibu or not, but like that's one of my favorite spots here since I've been here. And the seafood is really, really, really good. Again, I'm a fat kid, so
You're making me hungry. I'm
yeah.
actually having fish for supper. So
nice. I missed.
oh, you've got 2 minutes left.
Send me some walleye, Tanya.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's crazy. How did this whole hour go by so fast?
No idea.
Can you think of another story you want to tell?
Another story I want to tell. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird, you know, like in Minneapolis and all that, because I was living down there before I moved up to Cass Lake, and I don't know if you remember that time or not, but like, Bobby was asking me to like drive him down to like a gig, like, and I think he was playing at Shaw's with what is his name again? Jimmy Primetime Smith. Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. It was funny because I was working at the casino at the time. Like I told you, like at there in Cass Lake, and I was making the prime rib, you know, and so like I associated the word prime at the time because I was working with prime rib all the time. Jimmy Primetime Smith, you know, I was like Jimmy Prime Rib Smith, and and Bobby like took it and ran with it the whole like day. Like I was just like, he literally like said it to Jimmy. He was like, Jimmy, we're gonna call you Jimmy Prime. Yeah, he's like Prime Rib. So
I remember that now.
So it was just funny because I didn't I mean I knew of Jimmy, you know, and I've never like introduced myself or talked to him or anything like that, but I've heard his music and everything before, and I'm not the kind of person to go up to people and just like, hey, blah blah blah, you know. And but Bobby was like telling him all the stuff that like we were like joking about in the car, and like that whole gig, he was like going around like prime rib, and like he was like, and Jimmy was like laughing and everything. So it was just really funny, and a lot of the connections. It was just weird. A lot of the connections that me and Bobby would have, you know, of not just Mississippi, but even people when I was living in Minneapolis, you know, just different stuff like that. It was really cool, and I really miss Bobby a lot. And yeah, I guess that's one of my cool stories, I guess.
Prime rib.
Prime rib, yeah, yeah.
Well, it looks like we got to close out the show. I'm so happy for you. Living your dream. I wish you the best of luck. If you ever want to come back up here, man, we can find you work up here.
Right, right. Yeah, thank you, Tanya.
Thanks.
It's really good seeing you too, and I'm glad you're doing better. I'm glad that you got your place and your show is still going and everything. I'm really happy for you. Keep it going, yeah. And everybody out there, make sure you like and follow and subscribe. Tanya, tell your friends, tell everybody about Lil Bobby's Buzz.
Thanks, Cactus. That's sweet.
Yeah.
And Paul says, good luck, fella.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
And thanks to all the listeners and the viewers and fans out there. I appreciate you guys all so much. For more of the Buzz with Momma T, go to www.littlebobbybuzz.com or www.gfbestsource, or you can follow the Little Bobby Buzz on Facebook. Keep supporting these musicians, you guys. Let's keep this live music alive. See you next week. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Momma T sent you.